Hello and welcome to the Low Ceiling. I'm Bree and I'm the talent, and this is the podcast, and I'm gonna get all my words in before John gets online. So what I really want to say about this movie is that oh no,
I'm ready.
You grabbed
no,
the mic.
go on. I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay.
That's why this is our partnership, and I love listening to you.
Yeah, but it's more like a 90-10.
Yeah, 90 on my side.
Oh, what the hell?
10,
what the
10
hell?
I'm the Lionel Shrike.
You're the Morgan Freeman of this podcast.
No, babe, he's a fraud. I'm the Lionel Shrike of this. He's Lionel Shrike Jr.
There you go.
Whoever Mark Ruffalo plays.
Yeah. Hey, spoiler.
I'm him, yeah.
Oh,
sorry, spoiler, everybody.
God damn it. But if you're listening to this pod and you haven't seen this movie, then what are you doing? Where have
you been? Where have you been? Huh?
I mean, I'm to talk. I've never seen this film.
It's just you're just goading me into freaking out again.
There's so much. The light just left your eyes.
Like I described in our Antlers episode a hypothetical situation in which I bring up a movie, you make it seem like you've seen it.
I'm just aware.
We talk about it at length, and then I find out you've never seen it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for this film, but it was for the sequel, Now You See Me Too, which we will be covering next week.
I've never seen that either.
I know, but because we had a long conversation about one of the dumbest scenes in all of cinema history, and you acted like you'd seen it, and I would only assume that you knew anything about Now You See Me 2 because you'd seen Now You See Me 1.
I think now you don't. And you're projecting, and I'm just really good at talking about films because I'm just a master detective at figuring out what the ending's going to be like from fucking... And trailers don't do a good job of being mysterious about it, right? They always vomit the whole fucking plot.
Neither does this movie, to be fair.
Yeah, there's everything you ever need to know is in the 5 minutes that they introduce you to it, and they're like, oh, okay. Now just sit here for 2 hours ruminating.
This is an example of a film that it's like... The twist ending surprised me because as a person of average intelligence, I'm too smart to have seen that twist ending coming. It's one of the stupidest twists in all of cinema history.
Look. Let's not get crazy. I want to preface it by saying the trailer for this movie is the catalyst for this whole podcast.
How do you mean?
Years ago or maybe like I saw the trailer for the second film, I think, for Now You See Me 2 or Now You See Me 1. I don't even remember, but I was like, I saw this and I was like, it would be a real shame if no one talked about these two films in great detail.
Yeah.
And at the time, we had not started this podcast.
No.
And now...
we hadn't even met.
Over 100 episodes later...
Yeah. We're
coming back, baby.
This movie is literally the reason I wanted to start this podcast. This is like the pinnacle reason why.
Yeah.
Is because I would say it's like perfect for the pod, except I do prefer to talk about movies that I enjoy and have like interesting things to say about that I think have been poorly conceived by the public maybe, or poorly received and then therefore poorly remembered by the public.
Mm-hmm.
But every once in a while, it's also nice to talk about a film that I have nothing but contempt for. I hate this movie so much.
No.
I can't even describe.
It's like crazy, dude.
It's contempt. It's not even
really.
Yes, it's not even like this movie is bad.
Okay.
I think this movie is like actually bad for society.
Today's chat is going to be great because I fucking love it.
Can I give an example as a comparison? There's a Fast and the Furious film. I believe it's the 5th one. It might have been directed by Justin Lin. And I watched the first 20 minutes of that film and I was like, this is like poison. This is like watching
Fast and Furious
5.
Okay.
This is like watching cinema poison. This is it's so unbelievably stupid. It feels like everyone involved is shitting in your mouth and making fun of you, and like they don't even take it seriously. They're making fun of you as a viewer. And this movie is exactly the same thing. I think this movie is it's like trying to drink. It's like drinking hemlock and being like, that was fun. And this movie is like, isn't it fun to eat shit? Like, don't you love eating shit?
I think you're watching this movie with extremely high expectations because Jesse Eisenberg's huge head is in it. And we all know him as playing a super normal guy in everything that he does, where he's just like, hey guys, I'm a weird one. I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, but
I do weird things.
Talks really fast.
But also, he's not acting at all. He's just being himself. You know what I love more than having fun?
Don't say getting your mouth shit in.
I'm just saying, I love also being dumb. And this movie goes hard on both of those things.
Yeah.
It's not, I want to say it doesn't take itself seriously because everything is just packaged in it's movie logic. Of course, this illusion works on 6 levels of intricacy and heist and transportation and magic and da-da-da. And then at the end of it, you have Dumbledore who pops up out of nowhere. And it's like, okay, excellent. This is cinema because now I can just transport myself into this world of fucking make-believe. So what I want to say is...
I just cannot agree with you.
I'm just saying, you cannot know the next move this film is going to make, dude. Every scene, you're like, the most implausible. Okay, so is it going to be something clever?
Every scene, you're like, how much lower can this film
No, but
stoop?
that's not. But you don't know because you're a hopeful being. You're like, are they going to do something clever? No. But is it going to be interesting? Also, no. But this is such a dumb film that you can't help but just... They give in to the dumbness and oh man, they're gonna do a weird magic trick again, aren't they?
Yeah.
And you get to just watch their fucking finger dance.
It much like the greatest magical film property of all time, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
This film, except Harry Potter is like fun to watch. This film is not. But then also when you take a card out of the proverbial house of cards of this movie, you're like, nothing makes sense in this world. Like it's so obscenely not like nothing in this film plays by the rules of reality. And I don't mean that like, wow, they're so magical. I mean that like
no one explain it.
No. No one acts normal. Like no one reacts to things normally.
They're magicians.
Hold on. No one reacts to things normally. Nothing happens in a naturalistic way or proceeds based on human nature. Everything is just like it's trying to be Ocean's 11 for dumbasses. And it's not like nothing works. I hate it.
I just want to say 30% of the cast in this movie wears fedoras.
True. Yeah.
At what point are you like, oh, they're not rooted in reality? They're magicians.
Yeah.
Who do TV magic for a living. It has to be.
They don't do TV magic. They do live magic. They work in Las Vegas. They have a residency in Las Vegas.
Yes. Yeah, which markedly worse, right?
No.
You're
no. Las Vegas magicians make a lot of money.
I know, but the like level of like corny acting that you have to bring to the fore day after day because of your profession, and it translates so well. Like it would be strange to see a movie about magicians, but they're all just super normal. If they were talking about taxes or like. None of them talk normal because I feel like that's how magicians talk in real life too.
Right, but they're not talking about taxes, but they are talking about insurance. That's a huge plot point in this film. Yeah. They talk about insurance.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Like the Robin Hood-ness of it all.
the Robin Hoodness of it all, I guess. It's like if the thing is, if this movie had an ending like Ocean's 11 where they didn't just like give away all the money to join the fucking Hogwarts of New York or whatever, like it would actually, the bar could sink lower because you'd be like, oh, these guys are just fucking assholes too. Like they're actually kind of contemptible thieves.
That would be
as
interesting,
well, right? That would be more interesting because the fact that they do all this fucking nonsense,
because they're fucking
and then
idiots.
they're just like, I just want to be part of this secret society of magicians. And it's like, you weren't happy being like a quasi-millionaire in Las Vegas for a year,
but they want to balance the scales of justice in America,
right? And like, it's not like me to like stand up for this guy who's like an insurance magnate or whatever, played by Michael Caine, but it is just kind of like, I don't know, like I don't know. Nothing
I think
works.
you're just stumped by how amazed you were at what you wanted to get from it and what you ended up receiving.
I don't think I would describe it as that. I think I was like, I've seen this movie before, as I said, unlike you, who's a liar. And
hey,
like we watched this and like immediately within the first 5 minutes, I was like, oh, right. I regret watching this film again.
Oh no.
I hate it. I hold it in the lowest regard. I really do. I really do.
You feel like tears in your eyes.
Yeah.
You're so red in the face by how much you hate this film.
It feels like the death of cinema to me. Yeah.
Dude.
Can we talk about...
I want to say...
Go on, yeah.
And we'll talk about like the... just all the fun trivia around it, but before the casting directors for this film decided to choose these actors who were, young, dumb, and full of fun, they considered, look at this, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Sorry, thank you for censoring yourself and not saying cum. We would never say that on a podcast, so thank you.
I just said Philip Seymour Hoffman. I would never use the word cum in reference to the Hoffman. But could you imagine they went with potentially him, Jim Carrey, Hugh Grant, Sacha Baron Cohen, and Colin Firth.
That sounds like a much better film. For
lead roles. But then that could have turned into The Prestige or whatever, man. It would have become more...
Oh, I'm sorry. It might turn into the greatest magic film ever made.
Yeah, but there's already a great magic film, you know?
Which one?
The Prestige.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a great whimsy film, The Harry Potters. We need dumb magic. We need fucking the Fast and Furious of fucking card tricks like this.
That is what this is.
Yeah. But there's only 2 parts.
What do you mean?
Like there's no 10, Now You See Me 10. You know what I mean?
Are you not aware that there's a 3rd film coming out this year?
I'm just glad they paced themselves. I'm saying I'll be long dead before I see the 4th one. Yeah.
I mean, the 2nd one I think came out in 2016, I would guess.
Yeah. So many years later.
And and now they're making a 3rd one. I don't know why. Like I can't imagine what neither of these films. The thing is like I hate this movie and I hate the 2nd one too.
Yeah.
Almost probably more if I remember correctly, but we'll find out when I watch it. But like I'm not the only person who hates this movie.
No.
It's not like I'm like the brave man standing up and being like, I didn't think The Social Network was that good. This movie fucking blows. And most people fucking hate it. And yet
I think it's because we can't believe that Jesse Eisenberg can get laid.
Well, he doesn't in this film.
But then it comes so close.
A big part of the movie is that it's a director or writer trying to convince you that being like these poor broke ass stage magicians are so hot, like
super
everyone.
hot.
And it's like they're not. They're magicians.
Yeah, dude.
Like they're doing card tricks.
It's Woody Harrelson.
And I think the talent that they have, like actual magicians, not these fucking people, is like a regular card trick magician is more impressive than this film.
But
what I'm saying is that this movie has not been well received. I think the 2nd was even less well received.
Oh, spoiler.
And I think, I'm not sure, it might have been more well received, but it's not like it got like a 90%. We're talking 50 tops. I think this one has 37 or some shit on Rotten Tomatoes. But like, when you think of some of the films we've done in the past, and none of them have garnered sequels or had like, and some of them people are like, I hate that movie as much as John hates Now You See Me.
After Earth, The Butterfly Effect, Gone in 60 Seconds. Most of the movies we've done. Yeah. And it's like this movie kind of gets a pass and people are like, oh, it's okay because it's stupid. And it's like, well, that doesn't actually make it okay, in my opinion. And then when some company is like, yeah, it's fun and dumb and we should spend $150 million on making a new one. You're just like, that's insanity to me. Is it any less outrageous than Smoking Aces? There's fucking dudes who are like, oh, we have 90 submachine guns and we dress like toilets and we're fucking shooting out of the hood of our car and blasting into this hotel. And yet most of our actors come out alive and make it. Okay. You know what I mean? Like,
Smoking Aces is a far better made film than this.
Yes, but it's interesting for different reasons.
Yeah, I don't know why that you're comparing. Is it just because there's a magician at the center?
Look, I'm just saying, Oscar winner Common is at the center of both of these gems.
It's what I said before. This movie to me feels like everyone involved in it is like, this is a movie for dumbasses. Like, I'm deliberately making a movie for stupid people.
Yeah, yeah.
And that is contempt for the audience. It's the same type of contempt I feel for the film. That's the contempt for the audience. Woody Harrelson is in this being like, I don't know, I think cards, your wife, and blah, blah, blah. And Jesse Eisenberg, I want to talk about Jesse Eisenberg because it's like, he's coming off of like one of the all-time great performances, certainly the best performance of his career. And he's just like, the decade he has following that film, The Social Network, it just seems like he doesn't care.
Well, he plays just everyday Eisenberg, right?
Can we talk about it? But he's such a good actor. Jesse Eisenberg is a good actor, and he could have been.
And he stays in his lane.
That's the thing, though. And it's like, dude, you could get out of your lane, and
it's impossible.
You could work. Okay, he's in The Social Network. The issue with talking about this for the next decade or so is I haven't heard of a lot of the movies that he's been in or seen a lot of them.
Okay.
2011, Rio. That's an animated film.
Yeah, it was good.
30 minutes or less. I've never seen it. Why Stop Now? To Rome with Love. Free samples. Never seen any of that. One of them is a Woody Allen movie. That's all I know.
To Rome with Love. Right. Yeah.
2013, He's Way More Famous Than You. That's a cameo. I don't know what that is. Now You See Me. Plays J. Daniel Atlas.
Of course.
It's such a good name. Night Moves. That's an okay movie. I've seen it. The Double.
Didn't he do Zombieland before Now You See Me?
Yeah. I'm talking about since 2010. Zombieland was 2019. 2009.
Got it.
Night Moves, The Double, Rio 2, The End of the Tour, Louder Than Bombs, American Ultra, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, where he plays Lex Luthor. That's like finally Jesse Eisenberg has cachet and is playing a role in a movie that no one likes at all. Like, more people like it than this movie, but less people like it than The Social Network. Let's put it that way. Cafe Society, another Woody Allen film. Now You See Me 2 in 2016. Justice League, The Hummingbird Project, a film that I believe he produced and or directed or wrote. Oh, no, sorry, that's The Art of Self-Defense. See, he's getting more into directing, which he's actually quite good at.
Leads up to Real
And then
Pain.
He's in a movie that I only watched 10 minutes of because it was so bad, Zombieland Double Tap. And then just like Resistance, Wild Indian, Zack Snyder's Justice League, and then he comes to Real Pain.
Sure.
He gets nominated for Academy Award.
Yeah.
But he is in this role where arguably he should have won an Academy Award. And then he does this like whole ream of shit, and watching him in this movie, I'm just like, I feel this is a low point of his career. Both of these films are a low point of his career.
Yeah, we often say that when we see these big names in shit films, and we're like, oh, were you just trapped in a contract where you couldn't get out of it, or you had to pay taxes on something, and you're like, okay, I can just knock it out with this film.
Well, like, okay, yeah, like with Eisenberg, it feels so much more poignant, but I don't feel that way about any like, okay, Harrelson doesn't give a shit, obviously. He's been in a lot of movies where he's just like, like we talked about Triangle of Sadness, which is a decent movie, but he's just like, could I be behind a door for most of the time? And they're just like, well, yeah, it's COVID, so sure.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman has been in a lot of bad movies.
Sure.
And I like a lot, like Freeman, Harrelson, and Kane all kind of are like, yeah, they just like to work and stuff. And Kane is literally doing the thing he does in every film. And he was probably like, he's well said in the past where he's like, I've done bad movies and not watched them because I don't care.
Is this the only thing he's like a villain in, I think?
But he's like, they didn't need Michael Caine for this role.
No.
He's not really that prescient.
No. They could have got any old guy.
Isla Fisher is like a serviceable actress, but like woefully, I think, miscast in this movie, and therefore I don't think very good. And then Ruffalo is in the midst of Hulk time, basically. So this is like a passion project for him, I guess. But Ruffalo is so bad in this film. It's almost astounding.
Yeah, dude.
He's so, and then there's Melanie Laurent.
What's like shocking, right? All these big fucking huge names. Dave Franco is a good actor.
There's and Franco is so underutilized.
Yeah, and they all do medium things.
3 years later, Franco is playing Jesse Eisenberg's part, and Jesse Eisenberg is not in the film, right? Like, Franco is so weirdly not. But like, my vision of him is skewed because he's so incredible in 21 Jump Street, which is only 2. And I'm not joking.
He's fucking awesome.
He's so amazing in 21 Jump Street, and that's only 2 years previous. Mm-hmm. And he's also such a huge role in that.
Yeah.
And then he gets cast in this, where you're just kind of like, why is this like really famous guy such a small part? You know, but Ruffalo.
He just wanted to be in a room with a couple of fellas.
I guess so. He just always wanted to work with Louis Leterrier, the director.
Sure.
Melanie Laurent is also in it, and she is serviceable, but like I think she's kind of like, I don't like.
She's clocking it in.
I don't
she's
like this.
I can
very
be here
much.
for 5 minutes and then I need to go.
I feel like Melanie Laurent, she breaks out with Inglourious Basterds, which she's really good in.
Shoshana.
And then she tries to make it in America in a bigger way.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if she liked that. She
who
seems
should
like
have been
someone who just like wasn't into it, even though she could have been much bigger.
I have the perfect replacement, and it's Imogen Poots, and she could have taken over as her and brought.
She might have been too young at that
more
point.
To life, like but at least with the level of fucking acid coke that this movie's on, she would fit right in as like.
Yeah,
kind of a whip smart. I'm trying to solve this case and da-da-da.
I guess so. I just think like Laurent kind of she had a run there where she's in a couple things, and I was like, there she's popping off, and then she just kind of stopped. She still works in France and stuff, I know, and I'm sure she'll pop up. She directed a really good movie that I quite enjoyed called Galveston, but like it's such a Ruffalo is the one that stands out to me. Ruffalo and Eisenberg, because Eisenberg, I'm just kind of like, what are you doing? Yeah. And then Ruffalo, you're just kind of like, this is terrible.
You're gonna get the most serious faces.
Yeah,
like old man from Batman, fucking Morgan Freeman, Jesse Eisenberg.
With both old men from Batman, Freeman and Kane are both in Batman.
Oh shit! Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Just the most like. Although Morgan Freeman is great, even if he does 5 minutes of anything, even if it's shit acting.
I think he's not good in this.
He's not given material to work.
I generally like even Isla Fisher, who's not Isla Fisher is not Morgan Freeman as an actress, but like I generally believe the material is very poor. I don't think it's like I think Morgan Freeman is making a bit of a meal out of it, but he's not exactly like given the ingredients that are
Wait a minute. Are you?
I mean, he has he's like kind of like wry for the whole thing, and then at the end he's just like, oh no, Mark Ruffalo is the guy. And then Mark Ruffalo has the line where he's like, I hope you rot in this cell forever. And it's like, dude, he's just been arrested now. Like he won't stay there.
He's going to move
like,
to a different cell.
Yeah, he's in a holding
minutes.
cell. He's not in a prison. So
but the metaphorical cell. Ugh.
Well, like
Now you sell me, now you don't. It's like the range this movie provides, babe. You're not picking up on the nuances.
I'm not. Well, please expound upon the nuances.
It's just that one. It's between that and the fucking piranha scene with Isla Fisher. That's just a reference to her marriage to Borat. That's probably it.
Yeah.
But I'm just
saying.
She
almost drowned in that scene, apparently.
Oh, at IRL?
Yeah, in real life. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. They stunt people. They had to.
But instead, she had to suffer by making this movie.
Yeah. She had to suffer her reputational damage that might have been worse. But apparently, I think I read somewhere that she almost drowned. And literally what happens in that scene...
Oh, when she bangs the glass to get out?
...is what happened in real life, where they thought she was just acting because that's what the scene is about, is her acting like she's drowning. Blah, blah. But yeah, that was the one piece of trivia that I had learned from this film, because couldn't be bothered to look on IMDb to learn that, Jesse Eisenberg and Woody Harrelson were in Zombieland together. Oh, thank you.
Well, that's why they do a little nod to, have I seen you before? Or something... when Woody Harrelson first meets Jesse Eisenberg in the scene.
And that kind of content is just so clever. I find that...
Have I seen it before when 4 years ago we did a movie together? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I find that sort of self-reflexive reference comedy very funny. I love it.
I would have enjoyed it even more if they had done the follow-up line of you seem like a bit of an asshole or something.
Yeah. Why?
Finish the whole bit.
Why didn't they just cast Emma Stone and Abigail Breslin? What are they doing? Abigail Breslin could have been the Dave Franco part. Emma Stone could have been Michael Caine. We could have all had it.
Emma Stone, famously stoic actor, just like Michael Caine.
Emma Stone doing a Michael Caine impression would improve this film.
She would kill it too. She'd be so good at it.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Master Bruce.
That's not even close to Michael Caine. Yeah. He's more Sean Connery than anything.
Master Bruce.
He doesn't call him Master Bruce.
Put on a shirt.
He calls him Master Wayne.
Master Wayne. Stop masturbating. Okay, sorry.
It's really bad. And
this is
frankly, it's insulting.
I feel like you enjoyed this more than you did the films.
Michael Caine?
No, just me talking like this.
Probably. He's a big fan. He's always said he's a huge fan of ours. He pushed us to do this movie. He was like, John, I know you don't remember I was in this because you tried to block everything out from your memory.
I could see
remember
emanating off your skull as we talk about, now you see me, now you see me.
Now you see me.
I'm just saying, when the premise is FBI and the Interpol get together, we got to find out who's doing the heist. Wait, it's the magicians.
Yeah.
They're trying to rob a bank, but it's who's it for? Surprise. The people.
How did they do democracy. How did they do it in Europe? Yeah. Whoa. It's yeah. It's
whole
silly.
thing with what you saw on TV was not real. It's yeah, duh. Yeah, obviously.
On that note, one thing I've thought forever about this movie, which drives me fucking crazy, is I truly I think that magic as a performance art is really amazing. The shit that people can do is unbelievable, even with just a pack of cards. It's my parents, they went to Vegas. I've never been to Vegas. They went to see David Copperfield.
Oh shit.
And they were we didn't think it would be good, and they were it was incredible. What he did was fucking crazy. And I was that sounds cool. The problem with it being on film is that it's not real, and they're not doing it for real.
Of course. We say this now, but when you see some of them standing in an airport or a security guard room and they're passing a single card to each other.
Please don't spoil anything for the next film.
That's in the trailer. I'm saying when you see an elaborate trick play out, choreography, it's exciting. But
it's not though. In this movie, one of the things that drives me fucking crazy about this film is the cinematography is absurd. It's actually it's distracting because it's constantly flying around these places.
Yeah.
And yet you would think that with the amount of kind of unbroken takes that they're trying to do, they still do it in the most annoying way possible. And I think that what they're trying to do is impress upon you that, this is, you have to, you can't just cut to make a trick happen.
Yeah.
But they do. Like the magic is still
it's the power of editing.
Yeah, it's still edited in a way. And so the original trick where they robbed the bank in Paris.
Yeah.
Like they're like, we're going to rob a bank. That's the trick, right? They make this guy disappear, which is fine. But think of it from the perspective of the audience. From the movie, we see the guy in the bank vault and we're like, how did he get there? Whoa, that is so
How did he cross continents?
How did he cross continents by being pushed into this machine? That's so crazy.
Yeah.
But the audience is just sitting there looking at an empty stage. And then Jesse Eisenberg is like, oh, he's talking to me in my helmet or whatever. And you're just kind of like, well, that's not even a good magic trick in real life. And the way they make up for it is by spitting millions upon millions of euros on the audience. But it's like, that wouldn't be entertaining to watch.
I'm just saying, the deferred value of that is when the next day they see in the news, or an hour later even, that, oh my God, this IRL bank in Paris has been robbed of the exact amount that the magicians made it rain.
And that I think that echoes the whole thing with like the card in the tree in Central Park that Louis Shrike or Lionel Shrike
or
put
even
there.
The trick with them putting money in people's bank accounts. That is, you can't trick, like, even if they are in the audience, they're logging in with their security code and being like, oh shit, I got $70,000 because they made it rain that one time at the other magic trick. So arguably they've gotten to showing proof for their tricks to a live audience.
I mean, I guess so.
Yeah.
But it's not entertaining.
Well,
like they might as well, like, without all the showmanship, they might as well just be like, you in the crowd, you now have $70,000. Like, you know, like, it's so.
Yeah, that's true. Because right away they're like, oh, it's actually a whole thing about insurance fraud, and we're gonna drag him. We're gonna get this guy out here.
Well, so like, dude, if that happened at a magic show, would you ever believe that you would be like, oh, I'm gonna get to keep this money? Like, come on.
I would immediately transfer it.
Firstly, literally the FBI and Interpol are at that show watching them, which is not necessarily proof that they did this heist. But I do think that in the subsequent investigation to how this man lost hundreds of millions of dollars, they would kind of be like, everyone at that show, we're going to freeze that money in your account. Also, they
call out those 5 people and make them stand up and be like, Robert Johnson? You get $900.
And also, correct me if I'm wrong. Why? How do they actually do it? How do they hack into his account to get the money?
Magic.
Well, none of them are like computer programmers.
Through the power of friendship
they get his security questions. Right.
Yeah.
On the plane, they get the security questions.
That's right.
And someone...
I think it's Dave Franco who's the guy.
Yeah, maybe.
With the tricks.
But like,
with the computer tricks.
Surely you need more than that to transfer hundreds of millions of dollars out of someone's
You'd be
account.
Surprised. It's tomfoolery these days. I mean, I don't even have a. You know what? I'm not going to reveal my loophole.
I'm not going to reveal my tricks.
Yeah.
And then moving on. So I saw this on the Ringer. There was an old article where 2 of the writers for The Ringer were debating the merits of this film, and one of them felt the right way, like I feel, and another one of them was standing up for this film like an idiot.
Okay,
and,
what the hell?
So the trick with the rabbit in the box, right, which they then pull off with the safe in the warehouse. Mm-hmm. The safe, the back wall is a mirror that shows the empty warehouse.
Yeah.
That trick is entirely predicated on making sure that no one goes close enough to that wall.
Well, no one's going to. It's too far.
It's not too... No one would maybe go to the back of the room and see themselves in the mirror?
What if it's a 30-foot long room? You're not going to go walk intentionally into... No. Surely not. No.
Listen, if the room is empty, it's empty. I'm going to stand at the threshold of the door and be like, there's nothing here and there's nothing worth looking at. Like...
Sometimes they're like, oh, okay, a warehouse. You're not gonna go wall to wall touching the surface.
if you're a whole gang of FBI, like really long-standing FBI agents, you wouldn't like investigate.
They should just open fire.
Yeah, you would. Yeah,
they should just open fire in case it's a mirror at the end of the room.
Yeah, it's not like you would like go maybe poke around inside of a room where a crime took place. That would be insane.
But it's crystal clean and white walls. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And also, this is all happening in like 10-minute increments. Like, it's all real time. They go in, it's an empty room, and then they get a phone call like, aha, the truck has been found elsewhere, or whatever the fuck. Yeah. Look.
Fucking dumb as shit.
It's goofy to overanalyze non-serious cinema in such intellectual ways.
See, that's the thing, like, that kind of defense for this movie, I know you're being semi-serious because I know you, but like that defense of like movies drives me kind of crazy. Yeah. Like when you complain, when I complain about like it's not like I go see like Fast and Furious movies, but I'm just like, I mean, these movies are poison, basically. They're like the arsenic of films, and like you kind of hear people sometimes be like, oh, it's okay, just like it's okay for you to have like fun and dumb movies. I'm like, it is okay. It is okay too. Although it would be better if people made better movies a lot, like more, instead of being like, there's an acceptable amount of shitty films. Yeah. Because sometimes there's a lot of shitty films out and you're like, none of these are good. I wish there was good movies. And then other times there's better movies out.
I agree. I can't even be like, what if they considered the children? And maybe this movie, Now You See Me, is for the kids. But literally, Jesse Eisenberg's like, oh, I got 52 ways of pleasuring a lady.
Yeah,
so it's like, obviously it's for...
Yeah.
It's an awkward adults.
It's rated X. Like, it's not...
Oh, shit. Okay.
It's just on the edge of softcore porn.
No.
Yeah. And there is a point where Jesse Eisenberg says, like, looks right at the camera and he's like, I'll be 7 steps ahead of you. Adults.
That was fucking
fellow adults.
That was actually the only mildly rousing scene, is when they fucking zoom in 100x into Eisenberg's face and you're like, oh shit, is he about to do acting? And he does.
And I disagree.
He does for about 10 seconds.
Yet again, I completely disagree. Yeah. I know, like it is. I know I'm taking it seriously for
much.
for a lot of like we've done a lot of really dumb movies that people hate, but it's like, you know, I can find something in my heart for them. This one I just struggle with. You cannot, one a lot. Which is why we're gonna do the second one next week.
Hell yeah, dude!
Still fun to talk about.
Now You See Me Too. Why are you inclined to watch the second one? Is it just because we're kind of rolling with talking about it on the podcast, or
no? I remember specifically, like, okay, here's a comparison. Can we talk about the plot before I get into that? And can you remind me at the end?
Okay,
because I want to talk about the ending scene.
Me too.
Okay, let's talk about the plot, and then I'll tell you why
you want to do the second one.
Yeah, besides the obvious, that it's a great film. So these 4 magicians, Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson.
These 4 magicians.
Franco, Fisher.
Yeah.
Is that 4? Yeah, that's 4. They're all like doing cool tricks and shit. They all have different powers. They're Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
Gryffindor, really Slytherin. And they each get called by a mysterious person to this apartment to like... They all get a card and it's like, hey, take part in this thing. And then cut to a year later, they have this residency in Las Vegas where they're on stage. They're called the Four Horsemen. They're bankrolled by Tressler, who is played by Michael Caine. He's like a huge rich guy. And they're like, we're going to rob a bank on stage. They get this guy. They rob this bank. And then it really happens. Like, people are like, whoa, it actually happened. This bank was robbed.
Yeah.
Interpol comes over in the form of Melanie Laurent to the FBI. To their magical crimes division in the Ministry of Magic, and she's like I have to solve this crime for Europe or whatever.
I have to solve this crime for Europe.
I have to solve this crime for the pride of Europe. And Mark Ruffalo is like, I won't let a fucking European in my house. This is America.
But she's from the 9th arrondissement or whatever.
And Mark Ruffalo is like, he's completely incompetent. as an FBI agent, which is why they put him on this case, which makes perfect sense.
Hell yeah.
They arrest the four horsemen, they interrogate them, and Jesse Eisenberg is like, you don't even know what's going on. We're going to be freed, and we got a show in New Orleans, so we got to go. You can't arrest us. You have no proof, blah, blah, blah. They hop on the private jet, where they apparently plan an elaborate show in the presence of literally the person they're going to rob. They plan an elaborate magic show, on the short flight over to New Orleans, which is ridiculous.
Hell yeah.
During the New Orleans show, they talk about how Tressler was like this insurance magnate. He denied all these claims after Hurricane Katrina. They steal a bunch of his money and put it into the accounts of all the audience members who had claims denied. And I believe some other audience, like everyone got some money, I hope. Because like there's that one chick.
It was just the 6 people.
There's that one chick who's like, I got $70,000. And then someone stands up and she's like, oh my God, I have $280,000. I would be so mad.
So pissed. I got $1,200.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Like it sucks. Yeah. So the New Orleans, there's a big chase scene in New Orleans where Mark Ruffalo gets hoodwinked by them. And then from there, well, it's interesting. I don't really remember what happens in the story because it's not very important.
Sure.
Yeah. They're setting up another heist, basically.
Yeah.
Of this big safe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That has all the gold and just everything.
Something
it has lots of jewels and many items.
Yeah. Michael Caine's teeth, whatever. Like,
sure.
I don't know. They set up this other heist, and Mark Ruffalo and Melanie Laurent are trying to like get on their tail. They nearly capture Dave Franco, but he dies in a car accident.
Mm-hmm.
And they find the safe. No, they find the warehouse, which is empty, and they don't go in and investigate at all.
They were in the warehouse.
Common
is empty while they're in it.
Common gets fooled. He gets fooled by the trigger phrase bullshit, which makes him pretend he's in an orchestra or something.
So that's a great gag. That's the fun, like like the way that people make fun of magicians is also how they'd make fun of, I'm a hypnotist or whatever.
Well, that's what Woody Harrelson is, though. He's a mentalist.
Yeah, a mentalist. There you go. And so, yeah, the fact that someone turns into just a blithering idiot every time you control them with a word is just nothing short of magic.
Well, that's because it's not real. Like in real life, it's not real. Yeah.
I have immersed myself in the cinema.
Yeah. Okay. So they go on a chase. They find the safe in the back of a van or a truck or whatever, and it turns out that they've framed Morgan Freeman's character, who's been helping the FBI. He's like making a documentary. He's an old magician. He's making a documentary. They frame him for this robbery of this safe, which turns out to be full of balloon animals, which is very, and the real safe was behind the mirrored wall.
Yeah.
They take it out to get the money.
Excellent.
And all of this time, I forgot to mention that there's this thing about the Eye of Horus, which is like a group of magicians who I guess get together and like do card tricks with each other. And
hey, whoa.
Melanie Laurent speculates that they are trying to do this to like maybe be part of it, or maybe they are part of it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All of this time talking about this guy Lionel Shrike who started it or something like that. It's not important, but he died. He died in a drowning during a magic accident.
But his body was never found.
Doesn't this all sound so fucking dumb the way I'm talking about it? His body was never found, even though it's Alias Codius.
Yeah,
we find out in the end.
Pretty much.
Yeah, his body was never found. And then the Four Horsemen do their final performance at 5 Points in New York or whatever the fuck. And they somehow have garnered like an amount of people to come watch them, which is rivals like a stadium concert. I hate that scene so much. Like, just remember how I said this movie doesn't play by the rules of the world? Yeah. Not that many people would not be interested in this. That's just not fair.
I think you're wildly underestimating the power of a Disney Universal ground or a fucking raver in Berlin. Like, people show up for flashy shit.
I'm sorry. You're telling me you're using examples of things that people like to do. Not as many people would be like the thing about the whole it's like a fucking flash mob or some shit.
But it's greed. They've noticed these people flying millions into the air.
You know what drives me crazy about it is like this movie came out in 2013, and like all this shit that happens, it's like in that era when social media was like pretty new and like things could happen on social media. So movies would start to adopt things like that into them. And this is what that is, where people are like, oh my God, I saw this on fucking Vine or whatever. And like and then they all go there. And then people like, it's before like everyone would be like, you know, social media is like cancer. It's like the Fast and the Furious of things. And like, it's just so fucking annoying. And it feels so like pandery and stupid, and I hate it. And so they do their final trick where they jump off a roof and disappear, and then they go to Central Park. And the twist is that Mark Ruffalo was Lionel Shrike's son all along. He had set all of this stuff up by giving them the cards and blah blah blah, you know, and becoming a fucking FBI agent to do this eventually, which is fucking insane.
Hell yeah.
And he wanted revenge on Michael Caine because he didn't get the life insurance payout from his dad's death or some shit. Then he goes to Paris and falls in love with Melanie Laurent. And Melanie Laurent was like, "I will not do a sequel. Goodbye."
We were not even that close. I don't know why he suggested me.
It was really forced, but yeah.
Yeah. Oof.
And that's the end. Dave Franco's alive, of course. Obviously, no one can die in the magic world, but...
So the last scene, when they all meet at the merry-go-round in Central Park.
Yeah.
And the Hulk is like, all right, y'all, hop onto the merry-go-round.
Yeah.
And there's a great big flashlight, and they all disappear.
Yeah.
Is that like magic is real and the eye is real, or I don't know if it's like an illusion for the audience to be like, movie over, just a random flashlight.
I didn't give it any thought whatsoever. By that point, like I hate that scene where they jump off the roof in 5 points or whatever. Sure. And then
you blacked out.
It does that feels like literally it gave me a concussion. And then when they reveal that Mark Ruffalo had planned the whole thing all along,
yeah, dude,
feels like they kicked me in the balls when I was on the ground.
Did you see this coming?
And like I said, no, because it's so fucking dumb.
But I saw it coming in like 5 minutes
I told you that because I thought you had seen it.
No, you didn't. No,
I did.
You didn't. No, absolutely not. Because we were watching, and then Mark Ruffalo shows up like a bumbling idiot, and then he has these like furtive glances, and I was like, oh, he's gonna be the guy.
I don't think he got it.
I'm literally telling you right now that I got it, and we watched it together.
I think that's bullshit. I just think you're a liar.
You're just a non-believer in magic and realism.
I'm a non-believer in the magic of this partnership. Yeah. I'm starting to not believe in it at all with all the gaslighting that's going on here. Yeah,
babe, it's just a trick.
Yeah.
This whole time.
You're just 7 steps ahead of me. That's all.
I'm going to rip my face off. It's going to be Tom Cruise. You don't even know.
God. So why I'm keen to do the second one, I mean, it's just as bad as this. But like that scene in Brooklyn where they jump off the roof. Brooklyn? Who fucking cares? where they jump off the roof and they disappear. Which I hate. I hate it beyond imagination. Like it's just such... It makes me roll my eyes so hard. It feels like my eyes are going to fall out. There's like 2 scenes like that in the second one.
Yeah.
And I remember them because they're so they're just so like,
oh, no, don't.
This is painful for me. This is painful to watch.
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
Unravel this with you yet again.
And I remember them very specifically. One of them you know, and then there's another one later in the movie.
Is one of them from the trailer of the second film?
The one that you're thinking of, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Which we'll talk about. But
I can't wait.
It's so bad, man. It's so bad.
I'm just saying I believe in cinema and talent.
It's nice that you have love in your heart for
just everything.
Something.
Generally, I'm just a good person.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And I'm just
dead inside.
I'm just a mopey cynic.
I wish Voldemort was real and he killed them all.
I wish every film was The Godfather. I like good movies.
You don't even like some of The Godfather.
My name is John.
That's crazy.
And I think every movie should be great. That's me, right?
If it's not great, at the very least, it can be Now You See Me. But I'd rather that Now You Didn't. It's been the low ceiling.
It has been. This Yeah.
I can't believe this movie was what both of us wanted to start the podcast with, and then you ended up hating it so much if this was the first episode of our podcast ever, we may not have continued.
I think it's rare, and it is rare. Like, I'm making jokes about myself, certainly, but it is rare that I literally have nothing good to say about a film. And this movie, I don't like any aspect of it.
Yeah.
I hate the story. I think the script is bad.
Did you think it was going to be like
acting.
Ocean's 11 stuff? Like, were you expecting quality?
It's clearly trying to be Ocean's 11 and The Usual Suspects, like mashed together.
Right.
With,
oh my God.
Like, even when we started watching it, I was kind of like, I think I said it earlier, but it's like The Prestige for dumbasses. But The Prestige is different. Yeah. It's about dueling magicians. It's not about magicians versus crime fighters.
Yeah.
And the Prestige is such a leap in quality that it's really hard to compare.
Yeah.
But Ocean's 11 is too, frankly. But you can tell it wants to be Ocean's 11. If you pay attention to the music, you're like, this is clearly just trying to be that like jazzy fucking like driven Ocean's 11 score.
Yeah.
And then like with the interrogation scene and stuff like that, you're just like, this is giving Usual Suspects a lot. And it just doesn't achieve it even.
I think it ended up being Power Rangers of magic. Probably instead of action, it's card tricks.
But like you said, it's the Fast and the Furious of fucking
yeah. It's the junk food of films, and we're bloated.
Yahoo! So excited
it's
for
3-day-old pizza, and I feel ill.
I would rather have that than watch this movie
sick,
again.
Twisted man.
All right.
Thanks for listening, gang.
Yeah, we'll do the second one next week. Thank you for listening.
Oh, get ready for extra special love.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, a single tear falls down your eye.
I'm expecting the pain to be brought. Bye.